Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue on our journey of one Chinese expression a day. And from there, we can kind of imagine the universe of Chinese, kind of a rebuilding process. 情深意切,情深意切 talks about when you care about somebody deeply, or you feel cared for deeply from somebody. So 情意 are basically emotions or affections, and 深 and 切 are 深 is the deep, and 切 is the close, how close it gets. Today we're going to continue with the 切. 切中要害. 切 is the same, except from 情深意切, that 切 describing the status, the state of being close. But here, the 切 is a verb, is the action of cutting it close. Okay, so here involves the cutting, the knives here, and the number 7. So somehow cutting pieces into number 7, dissected into 7 pieces becomes cutting close here. Okay, 中. Okay, normally this pronounced as 中, but when it becomes an action verb, it is 中, like right on point, spot on, right? It becomes 中. The pronunciation gets a falling tone instead of 中, the flat tone, the first one. So 中 means the block cut in the middle, like straight in the middle, the center of things. It could be like one-dimensional middle. It could be two-dimensional middle, right? Which is the bullseye. And here 中 means exactly that point that you're hitting on. 切中 means it's really cutting it close to straight on, or spot on, I translate here, to the point, right? 要害. Okay, here is the 要, here is the 害. 要 came just visually, the scholar interpretations are, these are the 3-finger hand symbols, means hand, and it's holding upside down, kind of like that, right? So that means 2 hands. And here are the crossed legs. And you can see from the contemporary Chinese simplified version, it is a female, like a woman symbol here, because woman visually got hip, and this image, just from the look of it, it's like a 2 hands holding on to a certain spot of the body, which is your waist. So it's accentuating that curve there, like a woman got a hip and then the waist there going in, right? And here the 2 hands are kind of doing this, holding 2 hands around the waist to, I guess, highlight that area. And well, my interpretation is here is almost looking like a rib cage, and here's the center of your rib bones there, and then these are the ribs, and then this is the connection point, which is the end of a spine, your waist area, and these are the hips, but I don't exactly know what that is. In essence, this character visually depicting the area of the waist. So that's the emphasis, even if there are, many things going on, but the point, the focal point is the waist. And eventually the character was used to mean critical, important, the key to something. My interpretation is because it's the waist, it's your core muscles. So that's kind of the foundation, the whole motion from a person. You have to have build like a starting point from the waist, the core muscles, either the front or the back or around. That's the foundation. Otherwise, you won't have good posture, good motion. So that's critical, that's core, corresponding to the sense of the waist actually means the critical part. 害 Okay, so this hai is an interesting character because it gives a lesson to everybody, me especially. This structure of almost like a half dome, a dome with a knot on the top, is a symbol for living space. So it's like shelter and then the chimney on top. Okay, that's my interpretation. That's probably also a visual depiction of the living space back then. It's home. Okay, and this is the mouse that we already know, kind of forever smiling mouse. So it could be like the block. Block is like the contemporary written form, is almost like upside down of this. Originally, it got a tip on both ends because it's a smiley face. Mouth symbol. So whenever you see the mouth symbol, it means something related to speaking. And this is the sound maker. Today, it sounds like feng. Back then, it sounds gai. And now it's hai. So it's the sound evolved too. So somehow it changes sound in the middle, but it carried the original gai sound in this character, preserved it as hai. So feng originally, this character means you have abundance. We often use it with shou, like receiving. Feng shou means you're receiving a lot, receiving in abundance, which in the agriculture-based society, that means you're harvesting a lot. That's receiving the year's labor, right? That's feng. So if you see this, even if it's a sound maker, originally when people put the symbols together, they must have some meaning up there. So a lot, speaking a lot at home, okay? That's the literal meaning of the three symbols putting together, speaking a lot at home. So basically it depicting a nagging situation in today's term, right? So if me, Asian mom, speaking a lot at home, it's really harmful to the audience. So that's advice from ancient Chinese character. That's where the harm came from. That's the damaging, like you over speaking. Okay, so 切中要害. Just like this, like a cut, really spot on to the critical, harmful part. Here, 要害 doesn't really mean harmful. The 害 not necessarily means harming anybody or hurting anybody. It means the critical point that can kind of like a soft belly or underbelly, the soft spot of somebody. Like you're hitting spot on somebody's, basically you're hitting the right button, making somebody feel especially sensitive to that. So that's the 切中要害. It could also not just apply to a person. Most likely it's used to apply to a situation or a tough, especially a tough situation, complicated. There are many things entangled and you kind of need to see through that, and 切中要害, like straight to the point, like which one point that you make a change can make the whole situation untangle. So that's the kind of 切中要害 we talked about. And I use ballerinas on point position to kind of visually expressing to the point, like everything, because human body is a 3D structure. And when it's pointing down and staying balanced on one foot, one point, on one toes probably inside there, that means all the energies, all the dimensions are collapsed to one dimension, which is one point. And that is visually to symbolize that in a complex, multidimensional structure or situation, if you go straight to the point, if you find that critical point, that's how everything are going to be built down. That's how the whole situation are stand on. And if you can find that point, you can solve that problem or improve the situation at least. All right. Cashing into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.